Hey y'all, I have been, oh my Lord Jesus. I have been pretty obsessed with getting the garden going this spring. I'm just really chomping at the bit to get started. So I thought I've been wanting to do something more regular because I've not been great at making things just for us that aren't sponsored, things that are just for fun, you know. So I thought this is going to be an attempt at making a regular thing that's not hard to make, so that maybe I'll follow through. And we'll just see how it goes. So this, I don't know what I'm going to call it. Let's try to have a morning show, garden show. If you remember this garden last year, I think I did a video tour of it. I did have it divided down the middle, and the sheep were inhabiting one side of it, because I didn't think we were gonna be able to kind of stay ahead of it and like fill the whole garden. And the weed suppression game I was not on. And I haven't been for years. We've been kind of setting up the structure in this garden for years, planting a few things here and there, and you know, inevitably the weeds would take over all the paths and we had to wade our way to pick tomatoes and stuff like that, or we'd be gone on vacation for a couple weeks and things would just go crazy. But this year I think we're gonna be home a little more. Well, you know, this past year we all know how that's been. But also I've kicked the sheep out. Well, actually, one has gone on. Well, okay, so one died, and which made the other one crazy. They were both males, rams. And so the second one that was left by himself was so bored he started to attack all the gates and fences. He has gone on to live somewhere where he lives with a whole herd of females. So that's better. Well, number one thing that's changed this year is we've got all this great mulch everywhere, right? Some family friends of ours have a mill where they produce a lot of wood chips. This is 2 trailer loads, and it's maybe not quite enough even, but we're trying to mulch out all the weeds. It's a hardwood mulch. It's very bright, but I'm hoping it will kind of gray and get a little easier on the eyes as we go. So that's number one. All the paths are mulched out really well, and then I've made some new beds that we have straw on, the ones that we haven't planted, so hopefully the weeds will stay down there. Let's just kind of take a little walk and see what we got here. As the trail parts, we've got that big flower bed I had last year with an ornamental grass. I've got some seed coming back up from the wildflower seed mix, I think. Maybe it's weeds. We'll just have to see. A big project I want to do here with this big container. You can see that's where I throw my trash. This is a great big thing. I don't know, it's like 8 feet wide or something. We're going to put a patio on top of this. The height of it is perfect bench height, so you've got a 360, whatever, You can sit on a bench anywhere around it, and also we can have patio furniture on top and just kind of have our morning coffee, that sort of thing. Here's an example of a new bed I made this year. I think this is going to be watermelons or pumpkin, something that sprawls because it's got a lot of room out front here to grow. But I've got straw in the beds, and then this hardwood mulch looks a lot like the straw. So we're all, I guess we're matching anyway. There's a little sweet potato vine that I hope goes crazy. But anyway, yeah, we use a lot of found objects. Charming, right? We'll just tell ourselves that. I've got okra coming up here, basically direct sown. I have a lot of containers because we are kind of a clay loam here, leaning more toward the clay and rock, but it's not terrible, and I think the okra will do good there. These are just rings, they're not a container, so it's basically direct sown in the ground. But anyway, these cool tomato cages were given to me by a friend. There are quite a few of them, and I haven't seen them like this. I think they're good for climbers and kind of as a cage, and they just have a cool look about them anyway. But strawberries, you can see we should be picking some. We've got, let's see, eggplant and some sweet peppers next door to the strawberries. Then 3 rows of tomatoes. Got a lily here, sticking with the whole cottage garden kind of thing, mixing it all together. Is it a weed? Is it a flower? Is it a weed? Is it a flower? I don't know. So instead of 100 tomato cages, we planted the tomatoes next to this arch, and so we're going to train the tomatoes up the arch, hopefully. We'll see how that goes. And I think it's going to be bursting. I've put way too many plants there, but that's better than bare space if you ask me. Across the way, next to the future patio, that's going to be a bunch of sunflowers. And I may mix some other flowers in there, we'll just see. Down we go. This is where that huge bamboo tower was for the green beans last year, if you remember. Yeah, the sheep got in here because I let them clean the place up and they knocked it over. Whatever. But there's some maters. Arkansas Traveler, I think, is the tall ones. The rest I grew indoors, so they are gonna get there, I think. Next door, we got some heads of broccoli coming on and cauliflower, interspersed with onion. And I keep them all covered. I don't think the cats are gonna dig in there because of all the mulch. But especially when the plants are small and I can't mulch them, I keep a cover. This is gonna be the future compost bin because it's big enough I can stir around. The one I've got is basically full and I can't stir it around. And again, it's a catch-all for garden trash and things. This is just gonna be a wildflower bed. We're just gonna fill it full. It's gonna have weeds all throughout. I don't care. You can see where the sheep, I put this metal over the gate because he was trying to tear the gate down. You can see, like, he just really beat it up over here. I'm gonna take all this fence down. We're gonna make a new chicken run. Put the chickens where the sheep used to be in the shed. They have a much better shelter, even though the one they've got's good. It's just crowded. Now, I made rows, tried to cover them with this cardboard, and I've let it grow up. We're gonna put corn here. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. This ginormous container. Onions, spinach, cabbage, and more cauliflower. Packed full. Time to harvest some of that stuff. Here you can see my 3 arches. There's the one with the gate. The side gate's gonna be so great because I can pull the truck right up to the garden, unlike the front gate or the back, which was kind of hard to do. So we've got cucumbers that are gonna climb on this on both sides. I've got a little potato tower, not much of a tower. I need to build it up. I don't remember what's going here, but it's gonna climb apparently. Trashy sheep pen needs to be cleaned up. They are brutal on stuff. And then this bed is either watermelon or pumpkins, something that sprawls because there's so much space out front here. I finally got some seedless blackberries. These are the Osage variety. So they were developed at the University of Arkansas, 30 minutes away from here. And they should do well. It looks like something is eating a new growth on it. So I need to look into that, apparently. That's news to me. And then I've got my salad greens containers. This one is going strong. It looks like as it gets warmer, it's kind of getting patchy and the weeds are starting to have space to grow in. But there's the compost that's going to move. You can see working in the garden already this season. I've about filled it up. Another salad. Bib lettuce and black seeded Simpson or something like that. And then another bed here. We may just fill that with flowers. I'm trying to kill weeds out with this old tarp. But anyway, here's some found objects that are, you know, I guess garden furniture this year. Need to clean this rusty guy up a little bit, but I thought his sculpture is kind of sweet. That's the garden. I want to take you around the yard too. I've got some plans and ideas around the yard, but this will get us started anyway. Well, as we go, I wanted to have more back and forth, more talk than just walking around the garden like that. I thought we should start out with a garden tour, but I would just like to kind of shoot the breeze and do kind of a, I don't know, morning talk show spin more so. But this year, well, this, you know, with the whole COVID thing, and I turned 45 this last year, so there's like, you know, worldwide panic. There's existential crisis. Like 45, I've probably lived the biggest part of my life. Do I have enough time to do all the things I want to do? Yeah, so there was all of that. And then like, oh, things are so weird and crazy. I'm gonna definitely get on the garden this year so we don't starve. Hand in hand with the existential crisis and the idea of having less time in front of me than I have behind me is the whole, I probably should finally deal with this ADHD, you know? If I'm gonna reach these goals that I've been putting off for a long, long time, I'm gonna look into that, you know? So I've been educating myself a lot on that, and I think now that we are, I'm almost 2 weeks in on my second vaccine, Team Pfizer. So I think we can go have a checkup and kind of get that ball rolling. So we got some ideas for the garden, the morning show garden show. We could call it Gardening in My PJs. We could call it the Garden ADHD Show. Second cup, because it's not gonna happen as I take my first cup. Yeah, who knows? This could go anywhere. So I hope that this was kind of fun and relaxed. This should be easy for me to produce, so maybe I'll actually follow through. But I need to get something regular on my schedule and make myself follow through after the year I've had. So here we are. Thanks. Life's what you make it. Let's get our hands dirty.